15 cars in total making their way around the track now behind our official safety car. There will be a slight break in the gap between Michael van Rooyen and the first 4 cars ahead of him, as touring cars will start the race under starters' orders as they will come up and take up their positions now. And then from there, a little bit of a gap down to Rory Atkinson, who will hold the pack of SupaCup competitors behind him. Are we in race formation just yet? No, not quite. Oh, a change up. Sorry, my bad. I forgot to tell you about the new rule. The new rule is it's not a rolling start anymore. It's a standing start. My apologies. I'm so used to these guys and girls coming around doing a rolling start that I forgot to tell you all. The new rule for 2026 is they will now do a standing start. So they had to change the mapping on the of course, ECUs and computers inside the cars to give them ability to do a standing start. And once that map was loaded, we go into history in the making, because this is the first time that a South African Touring Car Championship and SupaCup Class Car Championship have had a standing start. This is Michael van Rooyen. He's our onboard man. Listen for those revs to pick up. You can hear them just outside my studio here. We're just on the right-hand side there of that shot underneath that lime banner on the bridge. Off the line. Oh! And Casey Ensor-Smith looks like he got a good start. Looks like a great start coming as well from the front end from Jason Coetzee. But left on the line there ever so slightly was the pole man. And problems there for Julian van der Walt. Didn't quite work out for him. Let's see if he's been able to make up some ground. He's dropped back down into 5th place. Van der Walt doing a similar job to what we saw earlier on today with another one of the classes that just got stuck on the line there in the Rookie Cup. So that pole position has been a bit of a nightmare. It's Casey Ensor-Smith, though, who leads out down into Damstep for the first time. Who expected to see the single-seater champion leading the touring cars on the first lap of their first outing, and followed by the previous single-seater champion and Toyota Gazoo Racing Academy driver. The 2 rookies are 1 and 2 on track at the moment. So Casey Ensor-Smith ahead of Jason Coetzee. Front end of the rest of that pack looks like SupaCup cars getting off the line nicely. Jason Loosemore leading that one out. Judd Berthold, I think he might have just squeezed out ever so slightly there on Rory Atkinson. We'll get confirmation of that as they cross the line for the first time. But here come the Super Touring cars, and the SA Touring Car Championship now in full effect with 5 cars there. A couple of cars still being built and rebuilt. Remember, after the big crashes that we saw with the BMWs, unfortunately, at the end of last year. And we expect to see Robert Volk making a welcome return into this championship by the time we get to the next round. So now on the brakes into Cashel Corner goes Casey Ensor-Smith, keeping off Jason Coetzee. Andrew Schofield hangs on to the 2 championship rivals from last year. Michael van Rooyen's got ahead, and he hasn't got ahead of the BMW just yet of Andrew Schofield in the Fly Sapphire car, but he's definitely keeping out the champion. Big move there from Tyler Robinson, diving through on Franco. Finds a way past on Davide. So a nice little maneuver there from the 2 of them. Now as they come down into the braking point, you can see how it all changed up slightly there at the front end of the SupaCup class as well. Atkinson dropping down into 4th place. So it looks like a couple of guys that got caught out there slightly on the standing starts, particularly Julian van der Walt. Not used to a standing start in this class. He's of course come from the original format of rolling starts. So it's going to take a little while for these guys and girls to get used to the new standing start option. They complete the next lap and there's still 8 to go. The gap now 0.8 between the top 2. 1.7 seconds down to Andrew Schofield, who still hangs on to 3rd. Here comes the SupaCup class. Jason Loosemore still maintaining a little bit of an advantage over Nicky Vistanis and Judd Berthold. Rory Atkinson behind that, he's got a bit of pressure. Slowly but surely creeping in there from the 27 car of Tyler Robinson. So the AF fans and Team Red car just starting to make a maneuver. Speaking of maneuvers, Andrew Schofield has pulled away now from Van der Walt and Michael van Rooyen. Van der Walt has got through on Van Rooyen. Van Rooyen seems to have some kind of an issue. He didn't quite have it all go according to plan this morning in qualifying, so there must be some kind of a problem on that car. The champion is down in 5th place, and that's certainly not where he wants to be. Renegade Racing out front. That is Loosemore, Vistanis, followed by big push coming from Judd Berthold, and then Rory Atkinson on his tail. Atkinson's pulled a little bit of a margin now over Tyler. Tyler with Davide Franco behind her. Also got a little bit of breathing room between the two of them. Here comes Atkinson around the outside, up into the bank corner at Cape Town. And now squeezes through to try and find a way past on the glass partner car. And I think he might have done that. He's found a way through on Judd Berthold. He's got the inside line, and Berthold's going to have to settle for that 4th place as they head down towards turn 1. Yeah, there we go. Atkinson to 3rd, Berthold to 4. Set that up about 2 corners ago. Down the back straightaway and into Cape Town corner. He got the drive out of Cape Town corner and then just put it into perfect position for turn 1 to overtake for 3rd. He's going to try the same thing now on Vastanis. Tyler ahead of the GSW machine of Davide Franco. Also out of that Team Red stable. This weekend being helped out by Tate Bishop. A little bit of driver training coming from Tate Bishop for Davide, helping him try and find that little bit of extra pace to get him into that front end battle, and it certainly has worked well because he's a lot closer to the front end battle than what he has been. Down here in Cape Town, on his home track, of course, he's loved it, but on other tracks and around the country, he's battled a little bit. Watching further back in that pack, also a little battle there between the Larrea brothers and Jared Rousseau. Rick leads out, and remember, he's the only master on track at the moment as well in the Super Cup class. So Rick Larrea currently sitting 6th place overall and the lead of the Masters. Out front, unbelievable to think that the 2 rookies in this class are 1 and 2 on track ahead of Michael van Rooyen now. Is that? No, it's not. It's now Julian van der Vat. Van der Vat ahead of Andrew Schofield, and Michael van Rooyen still behind them. Just getting caught up once again by that new livery from Kazoo Racing. Very similar colours, one with the 77 on, one with the number 1 plate on. Van Rooyen, he's got the yellow wing mirrors, He's got the red wing mirrors. So I think we're going to be in for a tight finish here, as Julian van der Vat had the pace this morning to get onto pole. Has he got the pace to get through on the rookie from Toyota and then catch his rookie stablemate and teammate in the second of the GTIs? He's certainly got the oomph to get through into turn 5 on Jason Katsia. The local man opened up the door there, and Van der Vat said, I'll have that. So we got GTI 8s 1 and 2 as they cross the line for the first time. Volkswagen Motorsport leading out 1 and 2 across the line into turn 1 ahead of the first of the Gazoo Racing GR Corollas. It's not Michael van Rooyen, the car you'd expect, the man we were on board with here coming out of turn 1. You kind of expect to see him in that fight, but he's a bit further back. Maybe he's playing the game here a little bit, because remember, there is an inverted grid for race 2, so he will start on pole for race 2. And we know that Michael van Rooyen in pole position from a race 2 start is a difficult man to beat. But then, as I said, it is from a standing start, not from a rolling start for the first time. So that might change things up a little bit. Right now it's Volkswagen 1 and 2, Toyota 3 and 5 with a BMW tucked in between the two of them. And the Fly Sapphire car there of Andrew Schofield having a phenomenal run. I've got to tell you, one of the best we've seen out of Andrew Schofield. And running right on the tailpiece now, putting the pressure onto the rookie. Can Katsia try and keep him out? Jason Katsia is going to have to use all of his experience, having won single-seater championships and the 86 championship last year in Gazoo Cup. That Gazoo Racing Cup, highly competitive, but Jason Katsia dominated it along with Kent Swartz last year. Was not bettered, in fact, through the entire season. So can he do the same here in the step up to the bigger class? Renegade Racing's Jason Loosemore leads out. Here comes Rory Atkinson, though, on Vastanis. Round the outside, late on the brakes, going to use the banking. Vastanis will force him high and wide, but watch for the cutback from Atkinson. He'll try and squeeze through there. Try and celebrate that 75th anniversary of Polo with the Volkswagen and Hub Racing entry. He looks for second place down into turn 1. He might have what it takes on the brakes here to outgun Vastanis. He's got it. Almost carbon copy of the maneuver he pulled to get through on Judd Berthold early on. And now he makes it stick for second. Is there enough time for him to close down? There's 4 laps still to go to catch the leader. Yes, there is. Look at the lap times coming out of Rory Atkinson. 1:19.6s, 1:20.1s coming out of Loosemore. So he's half a second quicker than Loosemore. And with 4 laps to go, that might be enough to close that gap down. The gap between Atkinson and Loosemore is about 1.5 seconds. That's enough to be caught and passed, hopefully in the next lap or 2 for Rory Atkinson's point of view. Jason Loosemore will be watching now those rearview mirrors, trying to ensure that Atkinson does not catch him and not put him under pressure for the first victory. Temperatures here are starting to soar. We're getting to the midday. It is incredibly hot down here in Cape Town. One of the hottest times I've ever been down in the mother city, that's for sure. As the action heats up on track, the problem they're going to start to find now is the track itself is starting to warm up as well. Track temperatures are going to go high. They're going to be exceptionally higher than normal. And that is going to affect the traction that these Dunlop tyres are able to give the Super Cup competitors and the touring car competitors combined. It will be interesting to see exactly what happens here in the closing stages between the top 2. I don't think Casey Ensor-Smith is going to worry about his teammate at all. At this point in time, it's a battle for third as Schofield applies massive amounts of pressure onto the back end of Jason Coetzee, looking to get onto his podium in his first time out and join his fellow rookie Casey Ensor-Smith on that podium. But the pressure that's coming from behind from 2 drivers, one is Schofield on the back end of Coetzee, the other one is Van der Walt on the back end of our leader Casey Ensor-Smith, and they're into the back markers. They're coming up on the fast developments car there of Paulo Leroux. Leroux being caught and passed now by the 2 super touring car, the touring car brigade. So the 2 Golf 8 GTIs go flying past the Super Cup Polo GTI of Leroux. This is Michael van Rooyen. Look at the eye concentration there. You can see just how he's fighting that car. He's not a happy man behind the wheel of that car right now, as Michael van Rooyen. You can see him even looking across to spot where the other cars are. He can see the gap has opened up dramatically between himself and the top 2 GTIs from Volkswagen Motorsport. They have got 2.5 laps to go. In fact, 1.5 laps to go now as they come down onto the braking point for Cape Town corner. Casey Ensor-Smith late on the brakes. Julian van der Walt has a look on the inside. Can't quite make it stick just yet. Big maneuver there though, attempted by van der Walt. Will he try it in the final lap? Will Casey Ensor-Smith be able to fend him off? Both of these competitors coming out of single-seater racing at some point in their careers. Last year's MSA4 champion under attack from Julian van der Walt. Oh, and he runs high and wide. Outbrakes himself down into turn number 1. And that is van der Walt. And his opportunity of the win gone out the bag completely. Julian van der Walt attempted a maneuver to get through on Casey Ensor-Smith, who's now got a clean and clear for the final lap. Van der Walt just went too late, too hard, and locked up. Went straight on, fortunately on the slip road. So he hasn't lost the ability to get back on track, but it's going to take him a while to get back on track. It'll drop him right to the back of the pack, which means Michael van Rooyen's plans for pole might be out the door for race 2. It's going to be rookies 1 and 2 here if Jason Coetzee can keep off the intentions being shown by the Fly Sapphire car of Andrew Schofield. Can you believe this? What a turnaround. 2 rookies, first and second in the first race of 2026. Casey Ensor-Smith taking the opportunity that was given to him by Ian Schofield in winning MSA4 and getting the drive in a super touring car for 2026, and he's taken it with everything he's got and taken the first victory as well. What a way to do it. Casey Ensor-Smith wins out. It's rookies 1 and 2 as Jason Coetzee comes from Toyota Gazoo Racing and their Rookie Cup Championship and moves up into the Super Touring cars and wins out on his first attempt ahead of all of the usual contenders. So it's rookies 1 and 2 ahead of Schofield in 3, Van Rooyen in 4, and Van der Walt in 5. Here comes Loosemore. Can a rookie to this championship beat one of the season campaigners? They are stablemates. They come from slightly different stables in terms of their preparers of the cars. But this is a maneuver from Renegade Racing to keep out Rory Atkinson for the win in Super Cup for the first time in 2026. They head to the line. Loosemore's got it. Loosemore will hang on and take his first victory for 2026 And the man who came from Polo Cup last year follows the man who came from Polo Cup the previous year. Two of the top contenders and Polo Cup champions as Franco's in the kiddie litter at turn 5. Davide just getting it all wrong into turn 5 and drops himself right to the back of the pack. So he's going to lose out to Jared Rousseau and to Paulo Lareo as well. There's a wave there from Michael van Rooyen, but I know he's not happy about that. And with what happened in the last part of this race as well, means he'll start on the front row, but not on pole. And we both, well, I know that both him and Julian van der Walt on a reverse grid are absolutely dangerous in a second race in South African touring cars. We've seen both of them win on reverse grids in the past. What's going to happen later on this afternoon in race number 2 in the touring car class? Can Casey Ensel-Smith and Jason Garcia possibly come through and do the unthinkable and get double podiums on the day on their rookie outing for touring cars? Phenomenal effort there from the two former Polo Cup champions. Jason Usmore, remember, came out of 2024's championship and stepped up into the Super Cup in 2025, where he finished up in the top 3 behind his teammate Jonathan Mahotsi and Tate Bishop. And then, of course, it was Jason Usmore who came and took on Rory Atkinson, last year's Polo Cup champion. So the two Polo Cup champions from the 2 previous championships in Polo Cup fighting for the win at the end of the day in Super Cup, beating to the line Nicky Vastanis, Tyler Robinson and Judd Berthold. Top 10 made up with Nico Zafiris, and then of course the master, the only master out there, Rick Lareo, eventually coming through for the win in the Masters side of things.